Okay, so hi guys, we're back with another video. My name is Rafi Ibani.
And I'm Hamza Tahir. And if you haven't been following us before this video, then
We
we'd like
are-
to introduce ourselves to you.
We're fourth year medical students in
Dow Medical College of Karachi. And
Karachi, Pakistan.
Here with us,
We have-
a special guest, Dr. Ziauddin.
Yeah, he's not only is he a helpful senior, but he's also a very good friend. He's recently matched in internal medicine.
Wow, you guys really embarrassed me with all that. I'm really shy and blushing right now. My name is Dr. Ziauddin and I'm a graduate of Dow Medical College of 2017. I'm also an internal medicine resident at Jamaica Hospital Medical Center in New York City, and I'm very thankful that Rafi and Hamza invited me for this podcast, that you can say, to guide juniors not only from Dow Medical College but juniors all around, because when I was a medical student studying in med school, I always needed guidance, and hopefully this video will serve as a source of guidance and inspiration for a lot of other medical students out there and graduates as well.
To all IMGs. The first question is, what is the USMLE? Yeah.
Well, USMLE, the United States Medical Licensing Exam, as it stands for, is the basic amount of exams to make you eligible for an American medical residency, both for American medical graduates and for international medical graduates. You need to give these exams to become an MD, which is a medical doctor, and this makes you eligible for the residency in the United States.
So it's basically an exam you have to give to become a doctor over there.
In very simple terms, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so what are the basic components of this exam? Like, how do you go through these exams, and
How do you become a doctor over there? Like, what's the timeline?
Sure. Well, first you need to get into med school, and then you need to pay tons of like financial resources into it and everything. But back to the question is that the United States medical licensing exams have three components, which are known as Step 1, Step 2, and Step 3. And the Step 1, it questions you on the basic sciences. It's an 8-hour long exam. You have 7 hours of exam time and 1 hour of break time. After you're done with Step 1, then you go into Step 2, a more advanced form in which it tests you both on basic and clinical side aspect of medicine. Now it has two components. The first is the clinical knowledge component, and the other is the clinical skills component. The clinical knowledge component is very similar to the Step 1 exam in that it is theoretical. It is 9 hours long. It has 8 hours of exam time and 1 hour of rest time. The Step 2 CS component is the physical aspect of the exam, in which you're given patients physically and who present with cases, and these are all simulated patients, and you need to take care of them. You need to do their history, you need to examine them, and you need to reach your differential diagnosis. You need to counsel them, and you need to document whatever your findings were in the medical notes by typing those medical notes. And this type of exam is given in the United States in 5 different locations. Chicago, Houston, Los Angeles, Atlanta, and Philadelphia.
right?
And there's also, I'm very sorry for cutting you, there's also a Step 3 exam, but for the purposes of making you eligible for residency, you only need to give your Step 1, Step 2 CK, and Step 2 CS. Giving a Step 3 enhances your choices of getting a residency, particularly for international medical graduates. That gives you a different type of visa known as the H-1B visa, but it is not necessary for you to give the exam to make you eligible. Only those 3 exams can make you eligible.
Just the Step 1, Step 2 CK,
And Step 2 CS.
Okay, and the next question is, okay, so suppose you give all those exams and then you become a resident. Resident is the first step, if I'm not wrong?
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens after residency? Like, when do you actually become like a proper doctor?
Well, first you need to know what happens during residency, and then I'll tell you what happens after residency. So after you give your step examinations and you become an MD and you become eligible for the process, and you become eligible for an American medical residency, then you apply for a process known as the match. It's the process in which you make your CV, in which you make an online application in ERAS, which is the Electronic Residency Application Service, and then you send your applications to different medical programs, residency programs, and then they go through your CV, go through your qualifications, and if they judge you to be qualified enough for their program, then they call you for an interview. And then after the interview is done, after they've interviewed a lot of people, then they decide whether they will want you in the program, whether you can become part of their program or not. And then the results of it is announced in March 11th, I think, and that's the match day, and that's when you know whether you've matched into a residency program or not. Now, the residency what we're talking about right now is an internal medicine residency, and an internal medicine residency has 3 years of residency in it, and the residency itself is a training program for medical students to become equipped with the basic and advanced clinical knowledge to take care of patients. Now, when you become an MD, you're still not licensed to practice medicine in the US. To become licensed to practice medicine in the US, you need to go through these 3 years of training, and after that, you can practice medicine depending on what you want to do. If you want to subspecialize, or you want to do hospital medicine, or you want to be primary care, and all that stuff.
Okay, so apart from you've decided to do residency in internal medicine, but apart from internal medicine, I think you have family medicine.
So you got all different types of residency programs depending on your liking. First medicine and then surgery. Medicine, you got internal medicine.
IMGs do have less chances of getting into the harder field, right?
Well, it's very common that, because I need to be very frank here, that the entire process is very competitive, and not everybody who's going to apply for residency is going to get a residency. Okay, so it all depends on how competitive you are as a candidate, how strong your application is, and to be honest, a little bit of fate plays the role in it as well. So yes, surgical residencies are a bit like, all residencies are tough to get in, no doubt, but surgical residencies are a bit more tougher as well. And as residencies go, it's like the medicine residency is divided into multiple subspecialties. You got internal medicine, you got family medicine, which is the primary care pathway. You've got neurology, you've got pediatrics, you've got a combination of medicine and pediatrics known as the MedPeds residency, and then you got radiology as well taking part in this place. So you got all these residencies, ophthalmology residency, psychiatry residency. So yeah, you got so many choices. When you go into surgical residencies, you got the different aspects of surgery, like the general surgical residency, neurosurgical residency, ophthalmic residency, orthopedic residency. So, and then you got dermatology as well, which is a separate residency, separate from internal medicine surgery.
So wait, just to summarize everything, it's you give all the exams, step 1, step 2, step 3.
Yes.
But then you qualify to become a resident, to apply for the match after step 2, and then you do a few years, 3 years, 4 years of residency, and then you decide whether you want to specialize in subspecialty or you want to go into hospital management. So then you can decide.
Yeah, so after you've done, and I'm talking purely about an internal medicine residency here. After you graduated from your 2 years of residency program, you have a couple of choices on what you want to do. Whether you want to subspecialize, then that means you need to apply for fellowship, and that means that you do a fellowship in an academic center or particularly in a hospital, which it gives that fellowship as well. And the fellowships can be in cardiology, gastroenterology, pulmonary and critical care, hem-onc, nephro, and endocrinology and all that. If you don't want to do a fellowship, you can do hospital medicine, in which you function as a hospitalist, which is a general medical doctor who functions in the hospital and can also function in the clinic as well. And the third type is the primary care pathway. Now, primary care is very similar to family medicine. Actually, I'd say it is family medicine, but internal medicine doctors can also go into the primary care pathway, and you function in the outpatient clinics as a doctor, and you take care of your patients out in the outpatient setting.
Okay, so I think that was pretty much enough for this video.
Yeah.
We have more videos coming up on this series, so stay tuned. And if you like this video, then press the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. We'll have more content for you in the future days. So best of luck.